How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Totality, and in today's video we're doing something a little bit different for you guys. We're going to be doing an in-depth raider guide. We're going to be going over his combos, his out of stamina pressure, his out of stamina attacks, everything in between, including his feats and perks. If you're new here and you enjoy this video, let me know by commenting down below, liking, and subscribing with notifications on so you will never miss another video that I upload. Also, let me know at the end of this video if you want me to do more videos like this, and I will gladly be able to do that. I love For Honor, and maybe this is a nice little series that we can do. So any feedback that you have, put them down below, and let's get right into the Raider Guide. Yo, welcome back, everybody. Like I said, we're going to be going in depth in this guide. We're going to be going over his attack chains, his combos, a little tips and tricks on what I like to use with my raider. We're going to be going over his out of stamina punishes. We're going to be going over some pressure that you can use while you're out of stamina, and his feats, and pretty much everything in between. Raider, without a doubt, is not only one of the best duelists, but one of the best characters probably in this game right now. He has a multitude of options that vary from his combos to his unblockables to his soft feints. He pretty much has everything that you want in a character and more. And to top that all off, he's got hyper armor. So this guy pretty much has everything that you would want in a character. This is one of those characters that you can just pick up and have fun with. Now, while I don't agree with the term of monkey brain heroes, I do agree that, Raider is a hero that you can just pick up and have, immense fun with right off the gate. Yes, it will take you a little bit of time to kind of understand Raider, but, he's very easy to understand. It doesn't take that much brain power to really, get down, the quirks on Raider and what you can and can't do. So without further ado, let's just go over Raider. So a few positives about Raider are as follows. Raider has pretty much every combo that you can think of. So you have a wide variety of options that you can choose from lights and heavies, unblockables, and your heavies do very good damage, as well as your lights, and he does have hyper armor, which is also a really nice thing. So pretty much everything about Raider and his combos are great. Like I just said, he has really high damage, so please utilize his damage as accordingly. He has really good out of stamina pressure. He's got everything that you need. So let's go over his combos. And, he's got everything. He's got anything you can think of. He's got a light. He's got a light, heavy. And for anybody that's new there, if you just seen that little flash right there, that little white flash, that was the hyper armor. Now, for anybody that's new here, hyper armor is basically, it's basically a tool that allows you to attack through people's attacks. So let's say I tried this earlier and this Warren just would not do it for the life of me. But let's say this Warren were to throw out a side heavy. If I were to throw out this heavy here, at the same time that he hit me with that heavy, I could not only hit him through that heavy that he threw at me, but I can continue my chain. So let's say I threw out this light. He throws out that heavy. I can continue my chain and do whatever I please. So his hyper armor is very, very good, and also the great thing about his hyper armor is it starts almost instantly that he does a heavy. A lot of characters, their hyper armor comes a little bit later into their heavies, but not Raider. So you're able to pull off things like, let's say I could do a backwards light here, and characters that have dodge attacks, they could dodge. I could toss out that hyper armor, and I could not only beat out their attacks, but I could continue my pressure. Raider's got some of the best hyper armor in the game, so if you're noticing that your opponent is parrying your heavies or not really falling for anything, and he's just trying to attack you, through stuff, throw out those heavies, man. You will be surprised how many times you'll get heavies off his Raider. He has a heavy. He's got a heavy, light heavy. He's got a heavy light. And he's got the most beautiful thing that you've ever seen. The unblockable. Now, the nice thing about Raider as well is he has two types of unblockables. He has an unblockable from neutral. Now, if you don't know what a zone attack is, It's basically an attack where you do light and heavy together. For me, it's RB and RT. And like I said, he can do this unblockable from neutral. I don't know of really any character but Raider that can do that. The fact that it's fast, it does very good damage, and you can chain from this unblockable. And like I just said, and you heard me right, Raider has two different types of unblockables. He has the one that he can do from neutral, and he has this one. Now that one is called the Raider Fury, and that one you can access from any light or heavy. I just did a heavy right there, but yeah. He can access this from any heavy or light in your chain, unless it is a finisher. So if I were to do a light, you cannot access the Raider Fury. But if I were to do a light, I can access it. If I were to do a heavy light, I can access it. If I did a light heavy, I can access it. The Raider Fury does over 32 damage, as you'll see here in a minute. Very high damage. This is one of the highest attacks, you know, in the whole game. It does about 2 bars of health, very close to it, depending on who you're fighting. And on top of his huge amount of damage that he does, like look at this, 30, 33 off of a top heavy finisher, just insane damage, man. So definitely use that Raider Fury. He also has what is called soft faintable guard breaks. Now basically what a soft faintable guard break is if you did a heavy and you pressed X, you will immediately do a guard break. This is different from doing a regular heavy fainted guard break because you don't have to do the input of fainting the heavy like you normally would have to with a lot of characters. You can just do a heavy and press X or whatever it is for guard break, and you will be able to do the guard break. Now off of guard breaks, he gets a side heavy. This is recommended for most times unless you're about to go out of stamina very close. Otherwise you can just do a light from any direction. Top heavies do not work off of guard break. I know that Warden did not block it because they only block right unless you make it to where they block anything. But top heavies are not guaranteed on guard break, so don't use them. You will get blocked. So side heavy recommended, but if you're about to go out of stamina, just do a light. The nice thing too about Raider is he has a different type of soft feint, which is called the Stormy Tap. Now the Stormy Tap, you basically do this from doing a heavy or a zone attack, and I will show you that in a minute as well. If you do a heavy and press a light right after, you will be able to do the Stormy Tap. Now he has 2 types of Stormy Taps. He has the one that you can do from a heavy or an unblockable, and he has one where you can dodge. Now if you notice, the damages are a little bit different. The one that is soft fainted does 10 damage, but the dodge one does 15. So it is a pretty good, I guess you could say, dodge attack. But something that you need to be mindful of about Raider's Storming Tap off of a dodge is if you notice there, he dodges, but he moves forward while he's doing it. So he's not like doing like a full dodge and like he's still turning to either the left or the right while he's doing the dodge. He kind of, you do it from the left, he'll start to come forward. So it can get caught by, let's say, you were to do like the Storming Tap to dodge like a heavy or even possibly a bash. There are times where you can get hit out of the Storming Tap because he does do that forward movement. Because it's a dodge attack, but it's not like most dodge attacks because he does that forward movement, to initiate the Storming Tap. So you can treat it as a dodge attack. It doesn't have any iframes to my knowledge, and if it does, like very little. So you can treat it as a dodge attack, but don't expect it to get you out of everything because you can get hit out of certain attacks with it. So just be mindful of that. But yeah, soft feint Storming Tap 10 damage, dodge Storming Tap 15. Storming Tap is very good to not only confuse your opponent, but it does allow you to chain into your attacks. That being light, that also being heavy, and unblockable. And if you didn't know, you are able to soft feint the unblockable as well, both of them. which is very effective. Now, something that I just want to point out here as well. Well, Raider is very good. He is very, very predictable. So you don't always want to throw out the Stormy Tap, because you will get parried at some point. If you just constantly throw it out over and over again and you don't do any type of mix-up. You don't want to just constantly do this. You know, you don't want to constantly do this over and over and over again. You want to mix it up. You want to do, you know, maybe a Stormy Tap here, you know, maybe do a light right there, or, you know, do a Stormy Tap, let that Raider Fury go, you know. Don't always throw this out, because you will get parried at some point. And the same goes for your heavies and your unblockables. You want to be able to mix up your opponent. You want to be able to confuse them. Raider has so many options, so utilize them to the best possible abilities that you can. Because, like I said, Raider's very good, but he's very, very predictable. So don't do the same stuff over and over again. That's why I'd see a lot of Raiders struggle, because this is all they do. This is all they do. And they always do this, too. They do the soft feints. Let those heavies go sometimes, man. Let the lights go, you know. You can't be afraid to let stuff go as Raider. His attacks are a little bit slow, yes. But you got that hype armor, so you can attack through, you know, their attacks as well. He's got good health. Utilize that health, man. Don't just do typical Raider things. You want to be able to utilize them a little bit. And I'll show you this as well here, off of the Stormy Tap, before I forget. Raider has something called an enhanced Stormy Tap. And basically what the enhanced version of it is, so I'll show you here in a minute. Did you notice that he didn't get deflected off of that? Off of the block, like my lights are? An enhanced attack is basically an attack that you can throw out where you can continue your chain, and you won't get deflected off of it. So I could throw out the Stormy Tap, I could toss out a Raider Fury, I could toss out my lights, you know, I could do anything. So it's very nice in that situation as well. If you're noticing that your lights are getting blocked or even parried, you know, you may be able to toss that out and still continue your chain without any problem. The Stormy Tap, I will say, is mainly used just to help initiate combos a little bit more effectively, confuse your opponent, and it's just there for you to use. So use it, but don't use it every single time. And that's pretty much it for Raider's combos. Like I said, he's got pretty much everything that you can think of and more. So use all of his options, because he's got them. As for his out of stamina punishes, he's got quite a bit. So let's show you this. So he's got two different types that you can do just from a regular guard break. And it goes as follows. Backwards throw, Stormy Tap, heavy attack into a confirmed light that wasn't from, that is opposite from the guard that they were last at when you did the guard break. So let's say I throw out this, I do my light, heavy, into that light. He's gonna block it, but he cannot parry it. So how you go about changing that? Storm and tap, heavy, into a left, because he was guarding that top, so that means that he can't block the one on the left. This is confirmed, you can do this. But what I like to do sometimes is I'll do a Storming Tap, heavy, and I'm able to continue my chain. So if he's still out of stamina, I can throw out the Storming Tap, throw out that heavy, maybe do a Raider Fury, maybe throw out another Storm Tap. I can do anything. You really only want to use this punish, this specific one, if you're worried about, you know, if you want to get into some more damage, or you're about to go out of stamina, or maybe he's about to get into stamina. That's where I recommend you using it. His other punish is, I believe, much more deadly. Let me show you. It's simple. 2 top heavies. 2 top heavies. Now, as you're noticing, I'm only doing top heavies. And the reason that I'm doing that is because his top heavies do the most damage. You're noticing that I'm not doing, the side heavies, because the side heavies don't do as much damage as the top heavies. So each stamina punish that you do on Raider, you want to make sure that you do the ones on the top. And for this specific punish with the 2 top heavies, you need to make sure, and I repeat, you need to make sure that you switch your guard before you throw them, or else you won't be able to get the first heavy, as shown here. You see how I whiff that side heavy? Now how you compensate for that is you guard break, and as you're about to throw it, switch your guard to the top. You have a brief window to switch it. So if you're on the side, switch it, because you are able to do that, and then you're able to get your 2 free top heavies with no risk whatsoever. And if you just notice there, I also got a confirmed light, like from the last punch. You can do that. It is confirmed. You just need to make sure that you don't do it from the side that they were last blocking at. He's got another punish that you can do as well, is a top heavy into Raider Fury. I don't recommend this one unless he's about to die and, you know, maybe you're about to run out of stamina. I don't recommend it, because what can happen is if you noticed, I threw out that top heavy in that Raider Fury, and he got that little white flash out. That's hype armor, because I technically threw out that attack and hit him while he was getting up. And when you do that, he gets the hype armor, and if he's about to get into stamina, he can guard break you out of that, because you can't chain off of the Raider Fury. You can chain off of this one, but you can't chain off of the Raider Fury. You see, I'm pressing light here, and it's not doing it. So yeah, only use this one if you're about to run out of stamina, or he's close to dying and you're not worried about an execution. But I don't recommend it. I don't recommend it unless you really want to. But you just need to make sure that you watch the enemy's stamina, because you don't want to get guard broken out of this, because you will if they come into stamina as they're getting up. So just be mindful of that. As for his parry punishes, they're very simple but effective. Let me show you. So off of any parry, it goes as follows. Light, heavy, into a confirmed light from the opposite direction that they last tried to parry your attack. Let me show you that again. Light, top heavy, into a light that was from the opposite direction. Or you could do this. Light, heavy, and you could continue your chain. You may even do that again. If you've noticed, he has pretty much everything on here is confirmed. Everything is confirmed. You just need to make sure that you just do it properly. Those lights, that final light is confirmed. Everything is confirmed. You just got to make sure that you do it properly. But that's his out of stamina punish. You could also do, if you really wanted to, you could do the light into Raider Fury. This one cannot be guard broken out of, even if he gets stamina while he gets up. He can't guard break you out of it because of the recovery. The only reason that he can do it off of this one is because while you are doing the Raider Fury, you're still recovering from it. So you need to be mindful of that. So you can use this one and you won't have no penalty. But my recommendation is the light into top heavy, and you can either continue your combo, or you can do that confirmed light from an opposite direction that they last were guarding. So that's his out of stamina punishes. A couple tips and tricks. Like I said, don't be a typical Raider. You want to be able to mix them up. You want to confuse them. Raider's a very good confuser. He may not have like an opener like a bash or anything, but he's got really good pressure. So utilize everything that he has. Like I said, he's got really good damage. He's got every single combo that you can think of. He's got really good unblockables. He's got good health. He's got the hyper armor. He's got everything that you would want and more. So just utilize them. Make sure you confuse your opponents. Don't do the typical things. Don't keep throwing out the Stormy Taps. You know, don't keep soft fading your heavies and your unblockables. Let him out a few times. You know what I mean? Utilize him. Don't be like the typical Raider. Just utilize him. All right? That's the biggest thing I can say to you. Just utilize everything that he's got. But with that settled, let's go over his feats and the perks that I recommend. I'll see you all in a minute. Alright, welcome back everybody. We are here with my feat and perk recommendations. So let's get right into it. Now before we even start talking about this, I want to make something very known and very clear to you all. If you as a Raider want to use as least amount of stamina as possible, do yourself a favor. Do not, and I repeat, I wish I had a webcam so I could point at you. do not use the perk Endurance. And let me tell you why. Endurance is a perk that, when activated, will grant you a 3% stamina cost reduction for each feat gain or renown level that you receive. And it maxes up to 4 because you have 4 feats. Now, at the end of your 4th feat, you will get a total of 12% stamina reduction once you get to 4th feat. Now, that sounds very good. It sounds very tempting, like, oh, Totality, I want to use that. Why shouldn't I? Let me tell you why. Because you have the feat Tireless. And not only is Tireless better, but it's a tier 1, and you don't have to do anything special to acquire it. You just have to get to tier 1. Tireless does exactly what Endurance does, but better. Tireless will give you a 15 to 16% stamina cost reduction, and you don't have to do what Endurance does. You don't have to get to tier 2, tier 3 to tier 4 just to get a measly, 12% stamina cost reduction. Tireless does exactly what Endurance does, but better. So please, don't waste your steel. Don't waste your 600 points on it. Use a different perk, because Endurance does not work properly with Raider. You can't stack Endurance with Tireless because that would just be overpowered. So if you're wanting to consume the least amount of stamina with Raider, use Tireless. Do not waste your time with Endurance. Unless you are planning on using Rush or Body Count, 9 times out of 10, or I'm actually going to say 10 times out of 10, you want to use Tireless. So I just want to make that very known. Don't use Endurance. On any other character that doesn't use Tireless, use Endurance. But for characters like, I believe, Raider and Tiandi have it, I believe. I don't know if anybody else has it. Let me know down below. But don't use it on any characters that have Endurance, because you will not get the benefit out of it. You will not get the max benefit out of Endurance. Use Tireless. It's way better, okay? Alright. So, for my feat 1, obviously I run Tireless. It's so good, I use it in every single game mode, no questions asked. Because here's the thing. The problem that I made on my console version of Raider is I ran Endurance without realizing that Tireless is way better. So that's why I'm telling you this, don't run Endurance, okay? Save yourself the anxiety, save yourself the amount of sanity that you're going to lose from it. Please just run Tireless, okay? You can use Rush. Rush is pretty good. It does give you a major speed boost. It doesn't last that long, though, but it's got a pretty good cooldown. You can use it if you want to. I mean, it's pretty good in Breach and Elimination, where you have to run quite a ways away to either get like a boost, if you have to get to an objective. I mean, it's good. It's got a short cooldown. It doesn't last that long, though, so you got to keep that in mind. But I really don't run it. I mainly run Tireless because it's way better. Body count, I wouldn't even mess around with body count. The health and stamina that you get from it is so feeble. The only game mode that you would even possibly benefit from it is Dominion. Don't even bother using it on Breach. You're gonna waste more health trying to utilize body count than anything. So unless you are, constantly clearing the minion lane as Raider, which, I mean, he does have a very good minion clear, don't run body count. Just don't do it. Either run Rush or Tireless, but I recommend Tireless because it's really good. But it's honestly up to you. But that's what I recommend for feat 1. Now, for feat 2 and 4, for me personally, it varies. So let me break it down for you. If I'm playing Elimination, I will run Marked for Death. What Marked for Death does is it'll lower the stamina and defense of an enemy, and if you are able to kill that enemy, you will gain an extra, I believe, 10 renown for that kill. This is really beneficial in Elimination when you're in those 1v1 situations, because you really don't run into a lot of gank situations in Elimination. A lot of people in there are pretty nice, so that's why I like using it. But if you are in game modes like Dominion or Breach or Tribute, I recommend that you use Inspire. Inspire, when popped, it'll not only give you damage and a damage increase, but it'll also give your allies a damage increase if they are in your little circle when you activate it. This is very beneficial in Breach and Dominion and Tribute, like I said, because when you're in those gank situations where you're in a tight bind and you need to be able to do as much damage as you can. Inspire can make or break those victories for you. So if you're in Dominion or Breach or Tribute, I recommend that you use Inspire. But if you're in Elimination, I recommend that you use Mark for Death. If you're in Skirmish, I would also recommend that you use Inspire, because you're also dealing with a lot of gank situations. So Dominion, Breach, Skirmish, and Tribute, I recommend Inspire. But I recommend for Elimination, Mark for Death. You can also, you can also use Inspire for Elimination, but like I said, I mean, 9 times out of 10, you're going to just run into 1v1s, so I recommend using Mark for Death. Bear Trap, I would only recommend you using Bear Trap in Dominion. I barely ever use it. The only time that I ever see effectiveness of it is if I'm, trying to block off a certain path to like an objective, like if I'm capping it, or if I'm just holding it to get more points. That's the only use that I get out of Bear Trap. I never really use it, so I wouldn't recommend it unless you're like you mainly just play Dominion. For my feat 3, I only really use Second Wind. Second Wind is very self-explanatory. It will give you some health. I believe it gives you about a bar and a half of health, which is very crucial in pretty much every game mode: Dominion, Breach, Elimination, Skirmish, Tribute. I mean, who doesn't like health? You can use Fury if you want to. Fury is another great option. You can use this again in any game mode, but for me personally, I just like using Second Wind, especially in the situations where health is very crucial. I find this to be the make or break sometimes in winning or losing matches, so I recommend Second Wind. But I mean, if you want to run Fury, go right ahead, because Fury is another great choice. Your sprint speed, attack, and defense will be buffed greatly, and with Raider having insane damage, it's insane. Battle Cry, I never really use Battle Cry. I mean, you can use it if you want to. It'll do the same thing as Inspire. It'll give you a damage buff to you and your allies when you're in the circle, and it'll discourage enemy attacks from actually attacking you. And Inspire, I didn't actually even say this, but your soldiers will fight faster. So if you're in Breach or something, and you're by the ram or something, you can pop Inspire. Your minions will fight faster, as well as in Dominion. I don't really get that much use out of it when it comes to the soldiers, but it can come in handy at time to time. But yes, I recommend Second Wind, but you can definitely use Fury if you want to. This one is honestly up to you. This is honestly up to preferability, but I personally just use Second Wind. Now, for Tier 4, it's exactly like Feat 4, or not Feat 4, Feat 2. If I'm playing Defender, Breach, if I'm playing Skirmish, Elimination, or Dominion, I will run the Stalwart Banner. I would say half of the time. It honestly is just how how I'm feeling at the time. But if I am feeling like doing some damage, I'll run the Fire Flask. Fire Flask, you can use this in any game mode, okay? It's extremely effective. It'll deal about 2 bars of damage to your opponents, which is very, very good. But you do need to be careful with Fire Flask, because you will, if you're in the blast radius as well as your teammates, they will take damage. They won't take as much damage as your enemy will, but I have seen it cause matches to be lost because they throw it right next to their teammates, and their teammates are low health, and then they die because the Raider threw the Fire Flask. Now, the crazy thing about Fire Flask is that you can actually buff the damage of this with attack buffs. In Elimination and Breach, if you have the Morale Booster, if you have Battle Cry, if you have Inspire, anything that can boost your damage, and you have Fire Flask, it will increase the damage tenfold. It is insane how much damage you will do with Fire Flask with an attack buff. I've seen it outright kill people. That's how much damage it does with an attack buff. I don't know why they haven't changed that, but I mean, it's a thing, so I mean, you can utilize it. But yeah, I personally use the Stalwart Banner, but like I said, for Feat 3, it's honestly up to personal preference. I just like using the Stalwart Banner, especially if I'm a defender or maybe even an attacker at times. I can just pop that right in the middle of Breach, if I'm like, fighting the commander or something, and I can, pop Inspire at the same time, it'll allow me to not only help myself out with health and my allies, but I'll be able to, deal a little bit more damage, and my allies will deal a little bit more damage. So it all works together. Uh, the main reason why I don't really mess with Fire Flask in Breach when I'm an attacker is because the Fire Flask doesn't do that much damage to the commander. It's a minuscule amount. It's really only use it for the enemies. But for me personally, I use the Stalwart banner in most situations, but I will run the Fire Flask on occasion. Like I said, it's honestly up to personal preference on what you want to use for Feat 2 and Feat 4. But that's just my recommendation. You can obviously change it up if you'd like to. Now, as for my perks, they're pretty self-explanatory. Let me go over them for you. So, I have 3 different loadouts for pretty much every single game mode. And it is as follows. For this loadout, we got Devourer, Aegis, and Fresh Focus. I will use this loadout on Elimination and Breach. The reason that I have Devourer is because after an execution, you will get 10 additional health, which is very beneficial in Elimination, where executions are very crucial and health is very crucial. Aegis is another very good solid choice for Elimination and Breach because it will increase all shields received by 20%. So if I were to pick up a shield in Elimination, I'll pretty much get a full shield. There's like a little bit of it that I don't get. And the same thing for Breach. In Breach, you get like maybe a quarter half of a shield. With Aegis on, you'll get more than a little bit half. So it's very beneficial. It works on anything that you can get a shield off of. It works on BP's tier 1. It works on shields up. It works on Vengeful Barrier. It works on everything. It's a wonderful perk. I don't recommend using it if you're gonna mainly run Dominion. If you're gonna run Dominion, I recommend that you take out Aegis and run it with shields up, unless you're planning on stacking the two to get the buff from Aegis with shields up. But I wouldn't solely just run Aegis if you're just running Dominion. If you're gonna use Aegis with Dominion, I recommend that you have shields up, and I got a loadout for that I will show you here in a minute. But yeah, this loadout I specifically use for Breach and Elimination. So yeah, that's what I use. In Fresh Focus, just to quick sum it up here, for each counter guard break, block, and parry that you do, you will generate 20% stamina. And the nice thing about Raider is he has very good stamina. So you won't be chugging through stamina like some heroes do, like Shigoki. For honor, devs, please buff Shigoki's stamina. I shouldn't have to lose half of my stamina just doing a zone attack or a heavy feint to guard break. Wink, 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 wink. So yeah, I mean he's got some insane stamina pressure. He can throw out pretty much everything. You don't got to worry about it. You stack Tireless on that. The man's like a machine. He's basically Gladiator, but a Viking version. And you tap Tireless and Fresh Focus on it, man. You're never gonna have to worry about stamina with Raider. And the nice thing about it is that Fresh Focus does stack with Tireless, and it also stacks with a fast recovery, which you'll get your stamina back faster. So keep that in mind for other heroes that you want to use Fresh Focus on. You can stack it with other stamina feats, but not. I don't believe with Survival Instinct. I could be wrong. Let me know if I am. As for my second loadout, like I just said, this loadout I like to use in Dominion, Breach, Elimination, Skirmish, Tribute, all of them. This one consists of Aegis, Shields Up, and Fresh Focus. Like I said earlier, Shields Up, when you are revived, you will receive a temporary, keep that in mind, temporary 25 health shield. You stack that with Aegis, you'll get about like 35 to 40 on that shield, which it can be very beneficial. I love using it in Elimination, where revives are very crucial. So that that 25 health shield plus the buff with Aegis, it really could help you out to win those matches. So I definitely recommend that you do have a loadout with Raider that has Shield Up and Aegis. And I do like to run it with Fresh Focus as well, because 9 times out of 10 when you're getting revived, you don't really want to worry about your stamina. You mainly want to worry about your health. So having Fresh Focus will help counteract the stamina pressure with having Tireless as well. So you don't have to worry about your stamina whatsoever. You just got to make sure that you block, maybe parry if you can, and counter that guard break. People are always trying to guard break you out of stamina. So that fresh focus will definitely help you out. So yeah, I use that loadout for pretty much every game mode. And the last one is a little bit different from the one that I previously had, the one that I just showed you before. But this one consists of Devourer, Aegis, and Headhunter. Now, what Headhunter does is it gives you a +4 health increase to a max of 4, which will give you 16 health for each player/bot that you execute. This is very beneficial in elimination where executions are crucial. So being able to get some additional health back from doing an execution is very beneficial. You stack that on top of Devourer, you're going to have an insane amount of health, man. So definitely run it. And I also run it with Aegis because, you can never have enough shield in elimination and breach. I will occasionally run this in Dominion for the Headhunter, but you don't get a benefit from it in Dominion with Aegis unless you have somebody that has a shield that they can give you, like a BP. But yeah, I mean, I'll run it in Dominion occasionally, but I don't recommend it. If you want to run Headhunter with Dominion, I recommend that you choose Devourer, Headhunter, and Shields Up and replace it with Aegis if you really want to use Headhunter. But because I mainly play Elimination and Breach and Skirmish, I have my build set for those specific game modes. But you can change it up how you want to. That's why I kind of wish they would give us a few more loadouts. I wouldn't mess with Survival Instinct and Endurance because they really are not going to help you as much as you think you are. Survival Instinct, when you're in critical health, you only gain a 25% stamina cost reduction, which that may seem nice, but you got to take in consideration, that it only plays into effect once you are at 2 bars of health. It does not stack with Tireless, so you need to keep that in mind. So I don't recommend it because, like I said, you're really not going to have to be worrying about stamina with Raider. So Survival Instinct is really not that useful for Raider. For other heroes maybe, but not for Raider. Endurance, we already said don't use it. Use Tireless. Endurance is not good on Raider. So just save yourself the time and the effort. Use it on anything else but Endurance. But yeah, guys, that's Raider in a nutshell. I mean, like I said earlier, he's a very self-explanatory character that has a multitude of options. He has unblockables, hyper armor, every chain that you can think of, insane amount of pressure, very good health, insane stamina. You can do everything with this character and more. He's very easy to pick up. So please, give Raider a try and let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about Raider. He's got some really nice execution, some pretty cool emotes. So yeah, definitely give him a shot. See what you think about him. But if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more videos like that, let me know down below by giving me a big fat thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new with notifications on, so next time I upload, you will never miss a video. And also comment down below what you thought about this video. Would you like me to do more in-depth guides about other heroes? I mean, I can do pretty much everything. I came from console, so I have a pretty good what should I say? What should I say without sounding cocky? I have a pretty good understanding about pretty much every hero. That I'll say it that way. I'm not good in no way, shape, or form. I'm terrible at this game. But with Raider, it's a little bit different because Raider is fun to use. So yeah, I mean, if you enjoyed this video, let me know. Comment down below. Subscribe if you're new. I greatly appreciate you guys taking time out of your valuable day to watch this guide. If it helped you at all, please let me know. I would greatly love to hear everything that you got to say. If there's anything that I missed on this guide, please let me know down below, and we will definitely fix it and make it right. And also comment down below if you want more of this. What other characters would you like to see? I can do pretty much anyone. You just gotta let me know, all right? But yeah, I think we are done with Raider, guys. If you enjoyed this video, let me know, man, and we'll do more like it. So yeah, I'm gonna end it off here, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe if you're new, and thank you all so much for taking time out of your day once again. I greatly appreciate you all and the support that you've been giving me. You all are like family, so thank you. And I will see you all in the next video, all right? This is Totality signing out. Y'all have a wonderful day now, all right? Peace.